Operation Barbarossa was the single largest military operation in history. Adolf Hitler's plan to invade the Soviet Union launched on the 22nd of June 1941, and it involved an army of 3.5 million Axis troops attacking along an 1,800-mile front. A total of 148 divisions, 80% of the German army, were committed to the enterprise. 17 panzer divisions, grouped into 4 panzer groups, formed the vanguard of 3,400 tanks, and they were supported by 2,700 Luftwaffe aircraft. At the outset of the invasion, Hitler was confident that such a force could defeat the Soviets within 10 weeks. Now, initially, the invasion did go well. The Red Army was unprepared for the German push, and panzer groups moved quickly towards objectives deep in the Soviet motherland. Now, these forces were arranged into 3 army groups. North pushed towards the Baltic states and Leningrad, Center worked its way towards Minsk, Smolensk, and finally Moscow, and South invaded the industrial centers of the Ukraine as well as the fossil fuel-rich Donetsk Basin. Now, the German army covered hundreds of miles, smashing the Soviet air units and capturing hundreds of thousands of Soviet soldiers, and few of these would survive their captivity. By fall, Army Group North was besieging Leningrad, Army Group South was attacking Odessa, and Army Group Center was approaching Moscow. On December the 2nd, a reconnaissance unit got within 5 miles of the capital. Though tantalizingly close, this was the limit of the entire German advance. Operation Barbarossa had already begun to unravel. The Soviets counterattacked, and despite the number of back-and-forth victories, the next 3 years were characterized by a long, slow, and bloody retreat back to Berlin. The greatest invasion in history had failed, ultimately costing Germany 4 million soldiers. Now, while in hindsight the reason for Barbarossa's failures become glaringly obvious, filtering this vision through the lens of an entrenched German military command, as well as an unstable despot, make reflecting on it a little more complicated. Even before getting off the ground, Barbarossa had suffered from poor intelligence and strategic planning. Hitler's inherent bigotry against the Russians caused him and his military leaders to seriously underestimate Soviet capabilities. The Germans rationalized these prejudices by citing the Soviets' poor military performance against the Finns in 1939, as well as the seemingly poor quality of Soviet arms, as well as the inefficiency of communist-run factories. It was thought that a decade of starvation, war, and purges had left the Russian forces with very few reserves to draw from, and the only military left were untrained and inexperienced conscripts. Now, for these reasons, the Germans chose to follow the same strategy that worked so well for them in France. However, these blitzkrieg tactics failed when they were up against the vast distances of Western Russia, as well as poor logistical planning. And the Russians, with a surprisingly inexhaustible number of reinforcements, were able to sustain horrendous losses, while the Germans found that taking such casualties were unsustainable. Now, the German panzer divisions had been viewed as some of the finest tank divisions in the world. However, the reality of their limitations quickly became obvious. While they were far superior to the Soviets, many of the tanks themselves were obsolete light tanks and cheaper, less reliable Czech models. At the same time, many of the Reich's better tanks, which had been used during the invasion of France, sat idle hundreds of miles away on the Western Front. Now, because the Soviet railways were of a different gauge than the German ones, and the Soviets destroyed most of their locomotives as they retreated eastward, rail really wasn't a feasible mode of transportation. These terrifying panzer divisions became reliant on trucks and even horse-drawn wagons to keep them supplied with the much-needed fuel, parts, and ammunition. Now, to keep the tanks grinding ever onward, a priority was placed on supplying them through ever-lengthening supply lines. Now, this meant that food, small arms ammunition, blankets, and clothing were held up in the west, and German infantry began to find themselves growing ever colder and hungrier as the Russian winter began to set in. As the war ground on, German industry also began to fail. So many German men were conscripted and then lost as casualties, and thus outside of captured labor, there weren't enough workers to meet the demand for ammunition, food, supplies, and weapons. At the same time, Soviet armament factories, many of which had been moved far to the east before the outbreak of the war, were cranking up production. Now, one of the armaments that would send the Panzer Corps into retreat was the T-34 tank, which had better armor, as well as a more reliable diesel engine and wide treads for powering through the inevitable Russian mud and snow. As Barbarossa ground to a halt and the Soviets began to counterattack, Hitler became more desperate. He made erratic decisions, and coupled with his intrusive approach, he often overrode his experienced generals in military matters. This was often demonstrated when German units were moved without any clear military purpose, and capable leaders were relieved of duty for speaking out against the Führer. In this environment of fear, critical thinking began to vanish. Ultimately, however, the failure of Barbarossa was due to the sheer tenacity of the Soviet people. While they'd suffered terribly under their own leaders, their sense of patriotism and nationalism steeled them to the grim task at hand. Knowing their fate at the hands of the Germans should they choose to surrender, the Russian soldier would fight against nearly impossible odds. And the civilian populace, knowing the consequences of failure, worked tirelessly in the factories or fortified and armed themselves in the cities. Even the lowliest peasant realized that it was better to die like soldiers than to live like slaves. Hey folks, this week's game is Stalingrad, and it was published by Avalon Hill Game Company in 1963. Its designers were Charles S. Roberts, Lindsley Schutz, and Thomas N. Shaw. Now, the map board shows an area approximately 1,200 miles east to west and 7,500 miles north to south. And a hexagonal grid has been printed on this and is used to determine movement and combat. Now, terrain features include clear terrain, which is any hex that's not completely blue or doesn't contain mountains, and seacoast hexes, which are partially blue, are considered clear terrain. Also seas and lakes, which are completely blue, mountains, which are any hex containing a brown splash contour, rivers, which are any hex containing a solid blue line, swamps, which are any hex containing a blue grass symbol, railroads, which are solid black lines with intermittent crossbars, major cities, which are any hex completely filled with the crisscross pattern, as well as minor cities, which are represented by a dot, and finally an Axis Soviet border. Now, this is a solid black line that runs from the Black Sea to the Baltic, and from the Gulf of Finland to the northern edge of the board. Now, in the game, the blue counters represent the Axis, and the red counters represent the Russians. Now, there are three important numbers on a unit. The first is the attack factor, which is the basic fighting strength of the attacker. The defense factor, which is the basic fighting strength when the unit's defending. And finally, a movement factor, which is the maximum number of clear hexes a unit can move over. Now, to prepare for play, the Russian player first places all of their units on any hex east of the Axis-Soviet border. Now, Russian units can be placed adjacent to the border, however, they can never be placed in stacks more than 3 units deep. Next, the German unit places all of their units west of the Axis-Soviet border. Now, there are 2 exceptions to this. The Finnish units have to be placed in Finland, and the Hungarian and Italian allies will come into the game as reinforcements later. Now, the German and Finnish units can't be placed adjacent to the border. They have to be placed no closer than 1 hex away. And again, these units can be placed in stacks not to exceed 3 units deep. Also, units are never allowed in Sweden or Turkey. Now, the sequence of play in the game is very basic. Turns represent a month, and they follow the same sequence of play every month. First, the Germans consult the time record card, and they place any reinforcements due on the map. They then can move as many units as they wish to. The Germans then have the option to initiate combat against any unit that they're next to. And these combats are resolved 1 battle at a time. Next, the Russian player follows the same sequence of actions. That is, reinforcements, movement, and combat. Finally, the turn marker is advanced to the next month. Players can move some, none, or all of their units any number of spaces up to their movement factor, and they can be moved in any direction or combination of directions. However, all movement does have to be completed before any combat can be initiated. Again, as I've noted, units have a stacking limit of 3. However, units can move through stacks of friendly units during movement. They just can't end their movement on them. Now, certain terrain can affect movement. A unit or stack of units traveling on railway hexes are allowed to move up to 10 additional hexes per turn on a railway as long as they stay on that railway. Now, a unit receives this 10 hex bonus immediately upon reaching the railway. For example, a unit that has a movement factor of 4 hexes reaches a railroad hex on its 4th move. It can then move up to 10 more hexes along that railroad in the same turn. Or suppose the same unit has reached the railroad in 2 hexes, and then it can move along that railroad up to 10 hexes, and then can move off 2 more hexes. Now, a unit may not move part of its 10 hex bonus on one railroad, then move cross-country to another railroad, and use up the rest of its railway bonus. And units can only change railroads at junctions. Now, during snow months, this railroad bonus is reduced to 5 hexes per turn. Now, if a unit enters a mountain or swamp hex, it must stop movement for the turn. Thereafter, it can only move through these hexes at a rate of 1 hex per turn. However, units can move through mountain and swamps on railroads at their normal movement rate. Also, units can move 1 mountain or swamp hex onto a railroad and then move along the railroad at the 10 hexes in the same turn. Now, moving up and down rivers through mountains and swamps doesn't change anything. The rate is still 1 hex per turn. In this game, rivers do very little in affecting movement. There's no movement delay when you cross a river, and units can move up or down a river at normal movement rate. There's also no movement delay moving through cities. Units are not allowed on seas and lakes except when they're frozen over during the winter, and at the Sea of Azov, units may cross at the Narrows. To do this, however, they must stop one turn before crossing the Narrows and on the turn after crossing the Narrows. Now, if a player moves into a hex adjacent to an enemy unit, they are forced to stop and engage that unit in combat during their combat phase. Now, attackers can't enter the enemy-occupied hex itself. However, they can move as many units into adjacent hexes as they desire, up to the stacking limits. Now, the attacker has to resolve each battle one at a time. They can do this in any order that they wish. As I said before, the attacker has to fight every unit that they're adjacent to, and if 2 or more units are attacking, they can total their combat factors. Defending units are only attacked as an entire stack, with their entire defensive factors totaled into a single defense factor. In other words, individual defenders in a stack cannot be attacked separately. Now, attackers can split their attacks, even from a single stack, and do this against several stacks of defenders as long as every defending unit in the attacker's zone of control is attacked. Also, the attacker can deliberately sacrifice one or more attacking units at unfavorable odds in order to gain a more favorable odds over other defending units. And this attack is called soaking off. And soak off odds may not exceed 1 to 6. Anytime an attacker finds one of his units surrounded at odds greater than 1 to 6, he either has to bring up enough units in support to bring odds back to 1 to 6, or eliminate it immediately from the board before any battle is resolved. And finally, no attacking unit can fight more than 1 battle per turn, even if it finds itself adjacent to an enemy after combat has been resolved. The defending unit must either attack or withdraw in its turn. And if such a unit wishes to attack in its turn, it can do so by staying where it is, or it can withdraw from the enemy zone of control and then re-enter by a different hex. Now, in this instance, units may not withdraw and re-enter by a route that would force them through the zones of control of other enemy units. In a combat, terrain can affect the defense factor of the defending unit. If the defending factors are in clear terrain, minor cities, river hexes, or railroads, and the attacker's in a non-river hex, then attack is normal. However, if the defenders are in clear terrain, minor cities, river hexes, or railroads, and the attacker is attacking from a river hex, then the defense is doubled. If the defending unit's in clear terrain, minor cities, river hexes, or railroad hexes, and the attacker is making a combined attack from both river and non-river hexes, there's no effect on combat. If attacker and defender are both in a river hex, then there's no effect. Finally, if a defender is either in a major city or a mountain, their defense factor is always doubled when they're attacked, regardless of the attacker's hex. Now, one thing to note about this is the defense factor of units defending in these areas is never tripled, even when attacked, say, in a major city and being attacked from a river hex. To resolve combat, you compare the total attack factor to the total defense factor of the units involved in the combat to arrive at a combat ratio. You can then pare these results down if the ratio is not listed on the combat results table. Simply go with the lower column that favors the defender. You then roll a d6 and you cross-index the result with the column of the appropriate odds, and this gives you the appropriate combat result. Now, combat results with an A apply to the attacker, and with a D apply to the defender. An E indicates that the unit is eliminated and removed from the board. And a number indicates the losing unit must retreat 2 hexes through either friendly units or over any sort of terrain. That includes swamps and mountains. Now, if the retreating unit's forced to retreat through enemy zones of control or in a hex that would cause them to exceed the stacking limit of friendly units in the hex, they're eliminated. And their route of retreat is always determined by the winner. However, the winner cannot force losing units into blocking zones of control if alternate unblocked zones of retreat are available. Now, when an exchange is rolled, the player with the fewer attack factors removes all of their units, and the other player removes the number of units whose combined attack factor totals at least that of the units removed by his opponent. Remember, this is entirely attack factors. It never involves defense factors. Now, since this exchange of combat factors does not always work out evenly, players sometimes have to remove a number of units whose total combat factors are more than that of the units removed by their opponent. And in these exchange results, the combat factors are computed at original or double their value depending upon defensive position. At any time attacking units eliminate or push back defending units that have had their defense factor doubled, the attacking factor can move into the hex vacated by the losing defending unit. Now, movement after combat can occur only in attacks across rivers, into mountains, or into major cities. And this rule applies only if the result of combat forces all the defending units out of the hex. And this movement also applies to surviving attacking units in an exchange. Now, at the beginning of their turn, both sides can get replacements. German replacements come in at Warsaw beginning in July of 1941, and they're received at a replacement rate of 4 combat factors per month. The Russian players' replacement cities are Leningrad, Moscow, and Stalingrad. And beginning in September of 1941, they receive a replacement of 4 defense factors per replacement city per month. And the replacement rate increases to 6 defense factors per city starting December of 1941, and to 8 defense factors per city starting in May of 1942. Now, the Russian player can take all the replacements on just one of their cities, or they can distribute them among the 3 cities in any manner they choose. Now, there's a few details regarding the use of replacements. Replacements are taken only from the eliminated pile. If there's no units with the correct number of combat factors, they get no replacements. And replacements can be moved out of a replacement city and used in combat during the same turn. Also, players are allowed to accumulate their replacement factors. If a player's been accumulating replacement factors and then has all of their replacement cities fall under enemy zones of control, these accumulated factors are lost completely. Which brings up the point. At any time an enemy unit enters a hex adjacent to a replacement city or enters the city itself, that player loses the replacement rate for that city for that turn, and every turn in which the enemy units remain there. Now, once an enemy replacement city's been captured, it must be kept under control, that is, garrisoned, by at least 1 unit in order to keep the opposing player from getting replacements for that city. However, players don't have to garrison their own replacement cities in order to receive replacements. Now, beginning on the May 1942 turn, the German player receives all of their Hungarian and Italian allies, and these can be placed on the board anywhere west of the Axis-Soviet border. And these units are in addition to regular monthly replacements. And at this point, all units can enter Hungary. Weather plays an important part in the game. Weather changes are indicated on both the time record and the weather cards, and the months of December, January, and February are always snow months. The months of October, November, March, and April are unknown weather months. So at the beginning of the German player's turn, in each of these months, the German player rolls a die, and the weather card is then referenced to determine the effects of weather. During mud months, movement is reduced as indicated on the weather card, and during snow months, movement is reduced and certain lakes and rivers become frozen and can be moved over. Now remember that units defending behind frozen rivers don't double their defense factor. Also note that all units resting on lakes when they become unfrozen are eliminated. Now, when a unit is surrounded by enemy zones of control, or a combination of enemy zones, sea, and unfrozen lakes, it's isolated. And any unit that's isolated for 2 consecutive months is automatically eliminated. To avoid this elimination, a supply line has to be created to that isolated unit by the 2nd month of isolation. And a supply unit is any line of hexes 1 hex wide that are not under enemy zones of control that lead to a source of supplies. Now, the German supply line has to either lead to Warsaw or Bucharest. The Russian supply line leads to any full hex on the entire eastern edge of the map. Now, the German player wins by eliminating all Russian units or entering and remaining in the 3 Russian cities of Leningrad, Moscow, and Stalingrad simultaneously for 2 consecutive turns by the May of 1943 turn. The Russian player wins by eliminating all German units or avoiding the German conditions of victory. Note that regarding the occupation of Russian cities for victory, the German player doesn't have to take all 3 cities simultaneously. They simply must be in all 3 cities at one time for 2 consecutive months. Hey everybody, this week's game is Stalingrad, and I'm using the Joe Angiolillo setup here with a few modifications. I went ahead and put an extra Russian unit up here in Stalingrad so that they would be, in case a German breakthrough occurred and the Germans rushed you up here and took the city. So I think that seems to be the most out there kind of place. Also, I moved the Russians around here to defend Leningrad a little better. So I'm not an expert player at this. I'm far from that. I know reading online, there's tons and tons and tons of folks talking about setups and all sorts of strategies and everything. And God bless them. They're really cool things they do, but I'm not in that league. So if you see what you're seeing today, if it looks really kludgy, go ahead and note down below things that I could do to improve the game, or improve my play, I guess. Okay, we're going to get started. Now, the Germans, they don't have a lot of options. I think what I'm going to do is, one thing I've noticed is if you're fighting on the Germans on the border, you got to be watching for these rivers, because if you fight for the rivers, or if you're fighting from the rivers, then the defender gets a double. So that makes your Soviet defenders twice as powerful. So we're going to do what we can to alleviate those. Also, I didn't put any units in Hungary. I don't think you can do that at the start of the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can do that. These units are a little hard here. They can hold on for quite a while because the Sirtul River here, you're fighting from it as the Germans, so it makes these guys a little bit stronger. And I'm assuming they're doubled. Even though they're in river squares too, I'm assuming they're doubled because you're going river to river. You're not in the same river. Okay, let's get started here with the Germans. We're on turn number 1. No replacements, nothing. This is a pretty straightforward turn. And we are going to move... I'm going to move these really potent units here and here. I should have moved those first. Okay, and then this guy's here, and we're gonna. You've really got the CRTs in this game are deadly, so you've got to hit the enemy with everything that you've got. This guy's doubled. This guy's going to be doubled. This guy's not. He's a little more out there. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to move into position here. And here, I can only move one. I'm going to go ahead and hit here. No, I'm not. I'm not going to attack until I can make a breakthrough. Up here, I'm fighting from rivers. Here, I'm fighting from rivers. The one thing the Germans have, though, is they've got to hit just as hard as they can for as long as they can. I think I'll move here. Fighting from mountains here. I may move back one. I'm in a pretty good defensive position there. Okay, there we go. I think I'm done. So we will now do the Battlen. And I think on these, I'm going to hit him hard. Let's start here, actually. This should take this guy out. So we've got 18 and 25 and 37 and 49 to 3. Easy 6-to-1 odds. Yeah, this CRT is deadly. Okay, the only thing I could have gotten was a D2. Actually, anything would have eliminated him. So he goes to the Boneyard. This guy's got to fight here. And then these guys have got to fight here. I think I'll go ahead and do each one. The question is, do I hit them? Do I do a sacrifice or not? I don't think I will. I think I might lose too many units when I could just be pushed back. So, okay, so I'm going to go 15, 22 to 6. So that's 3-to-1 odds with a 2 is a D2. Yeah, that'll work. And I will move into place here. And actually, no, I don't want to move into place there. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. No, I don't. I go back and forth on this. I'm thinking, one is if this guy were to move over here, then I would be surrounded and he could take me out. But this guy's, he's going to probably want to move. He's got to make the decision whether he's going to move and fight or move back. Now, I've made his decision for him. He's going to want to move back. Now, the one advantage the Germans do is by attacking, though, is you can glom onto these units. You can keep them stuck on the border, which is good. Because the Russians are going to want to basically back up the whole time. Anyway, 24 to 20. So 1-to-1 odds with a 3 is a defender back 2. Okay, and we will move into that hex. Okay, nothing over here. We've done that. Nothing here and nothing here. So that's the end of the German turn. Turns are pretty quick in this. Russians. I think we're going to move back to Riga here. Move back to Minsk here. And here. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to move. Well, here. And this is the other decision you have to make: is am I going to fight out in the open, or am I going to fight? At least this way, I can block the onslaught of the I don't know. That's a good question. I think I'll stay there. I was thinking I could block the railroad, which will be helpful. Here, I've still got a little bit of a line here, so I think I'll leave that at least until he starts to move around. And over here, not much I can do. Keep myself together there, and that's going to be it. So pretty quick turn. Okay, we go into July, and now the Germans get 4 units per turn. So we check our eliminated here, and there's nothing there. So they don't get anything if there's nothing there. But they do get to go. Now, they're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then they can do their 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this guy's going to go here, and I'm going to cut them off here and here and here. I think I'll send 1 unit over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Reason I sent him over here is I was trying. Oh, he doesn't have to go over there. Okay. I was just looking for seeing if he is out of supply, so he is. So, okay. Now that's a strong unit, so we're next going to go. I think I'll come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2, 3, 4, and then this guy's going to go and we're going to move up here. Over here, I'm going to move 1 forward, 1 forward. And I think I'm going to wait. Don't think I want to do anything. I guess I could go, this guy's a little bit vulnerable here. I'm going to move this guy in here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He's still in that. He's got 12. I'd like to have at least 2-to-1 odds, which I would have with those two. No, that'd be 1-to-1 because, no, 2-to-1. Well, I have to send a guy over to fight with these. I'd have to soak off a guy over there. So, man, it's hard. I just don't want to have that attrition here. Like I said, the Germans have that. They have that, and this is what makes the game interesting. Is they really want to push hard to send the Russians back, but attrition catches up with them pretty quickly, and you lose a lot of units. So we're going to fight here, and I've got a 18 to 30 to 22, so 1-to-1 odds with a 2. And it's an exchange. Okay, now you use attack units here. So this is going to be 14 attack units. And I'm going to have to use 10. Whoops. There's 14. Eliminate. And here we can eliminate these. I mean, the exchange is okay. It's not great, but it's better than losing the units entirely. And that's what I say. You can attack. There's a 1 in 3 odds as an attacker you're going to lose all your units. And I've surrounded Soviet units and just had 1-to-1 odds and had a lot of stuff thrown in, and then you get a 5 or 6 on a 1-to-1 and you're gone. So it's okay. 4, 8, 12. 4, 8, 12, 24. And 7 is 31. I'm just going to half. It's easier to half these and keep your numbers low. So 31, that's 15 to 19. So 1 to 2 odds with a 1. Ooh. And 1 to 2 with a 1. Oh. Is a D2. Okay, I can deal with that. And we will march into the city there. And that's it for the German turn. Oh, I forgot my... I didn't have a replacement. Duh. Okay, that's right, we did that. And that's done. Okay, now the Russians can go. Now, the Russians still don't have any replacements. So, make hay when the sun shines. This guy can't do anything, and that's his first turn. I'm going to mark... I can't mark move there. Oh, it doesn't have a little move thing. Okay. What do we want to do? I think we're going to fall back to Kyiv. And we're going to fall back to here. Let's see. We'll fall back to here and here and here. I can't do much. This is kind of a bad position here. Let's go to Smolensk and get that, make a stand there. I forgot my guys up here, the Finns. Okay. Put a guy here in the swamp. And move back to Leningrad. And those guys will all stay put. Okay. That's okay. The Finns, really, as weak as they are, they're not going to do much. And usually I end up getting them eliminated fairly early in the game. This guy has to... Now, he's in a situation here where he has to come out and fight. Otherwise, he's going to be in bad shape here. So, is that all the fights I've got? Yeah. 13 to 6. So 2 to 1 odds with a 3. Defender back 2. We'll move him. The attacker can move him. So this means that I am not surrounded. I can trace a line of supply through there, and I'm not surrounded for the turn. So that gives me a little bit of breathing room. And is anywhere else? That's it. Okay. We will move to the next turn in August. And I think the Germans will actually get a unit. They do get a unit this time. I'll put my little 6s that I can't bring in. I'll just stick there. Sometimes I'm picking through them to find the good ones, but... Okay. Now I have... Now that I'm out of Riga, that leaves me open. So, let's remember these German units. I won't put them there. I'll put them there. And I think I'll keep these as reserve units. They can stay where they're at. Okay, let's go down the line here. He's out of Riga, so now's the time to try to destroy him. This one would be nice. This army group middle would be good. To try to take him out. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right. Well, let's see. I've got to go. I was thinking I could maybe cut off Leningrad. If I could get in this place here, I could attack Leningrad. 14. I'd need at least 2 to 1 odds. And I think I'll wait a turn. I think I'll use him over here. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll come here. And then these guys are going to come up here, and I can use my train guy to get up there. And here. And then we're going to push. I don't know. I guess that counts as 1. So I'm going to move. Actually, that would. So he's going to move here. And then this guy's going to move here. Actually, he's out in the open. Going to move him here, here, here. And is this guy out in the open? He is. Okay. Here, and I can't move into that swamp, I think. Now I'm halved, but that's okay. Okay, let's figure some attacks. I got 22 and 24 is 46, and 6 is 52 to 17. So let's see, 17 times 2 is 34, and another 17. So that's going to be 3-to-1 odds, and I get a 1. 3-to-1 with a 1 is a defender eliminated. Okay, that hurts the Russians pretty badly. So we'll go there. Over here, I've got 12, and 12 is 24, and 7 is 31, and 8 is 39. We'll have that, so 19 to 13. So 1-to-1 odds with a 6, and that's an AE. So basically, our Army Group Middle just pooped out there. Okay. Moving down the line here, I've got a 12, and 12 is a 24 to 18, 1-to-1 odds with a 1. That eliminates him. And we will move out of the swamp there. We can take advantage of that. And then I've got a 16 to 20. Let me see. I'm going to take these 3, and then I'm going to take 2 from this stack. Or 1 from this stack. Is that 6 and 6, 14, 20? And then I'm going to go 5, 10, 15. Yeah, 2, so 1-to-1 odds with a 4 is, 1-to-1 with a 4 is an A2. So back 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then these guys are going to attack here, and I get a 16 to 14, 1-to-1 odds with a 4. Again, they go back and back. And that's it for the German turn. So we will take the moves. Now then, Russian turn. They still don't get any replacements. They will, trust me. Again, it's time to move back. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to move back here, and 1, and here. And then I'll pull back to Odessa here. We'll pull back here and here. Okay, we'll defend behind that river there. Over here, big issue is going to be keeping these positions. I think we're good. I don't think there's a whole lot else we can do. And so that'll end the turn. And we go to the September turn. Now in the September turn, the Russians are going to start to get, they're going to start to get 4 units per city that they own per turn. So, and I've played this before where the Germans have actually been up here to Stalingrad that quickly. Or, well, they haven't been up to Stalingrad, but Stalingrad's been unguarded, and I'm having to get units in there as quick as I can. So, okay, Germans are going to move again, and we're going to go here and here. Wait a minute. I'm going to use as big as guns as I can to try to take Leningrad. And then we're going to go 3, 4, 5. And then I can't move around there. Okay. Probably going to put 2 units in here as a backup. Oh, I didn't bring in my eliminated unit. Bring him in. Going to stay right there. Try to take a defensive position. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Again, try to keep some defense up a little bit. Okay. Army Group South. It's time for them to shine. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's go right here. And then these guys are going to go 1, 2, and they can go 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they can go 1, 2 here. This guy's going to go 1, and then up the 1, 2, and up here, 1, and up here. Okay. Let's see, they can go here, and then 1, 2, and then these guys can go. I can fill in the gap there, and then 1, and here. We can move him in place. Okay, everybody's moved. Now, lots of battles going on. So we'll start with the Siege of Leningrad here. Already 8, and there's 32 to 7, so we're going to call that 16 to 7, so 2 to 1 odds with a 1, and defenders eliminated. So that's it for Leningrad. So we can, the Finns are going to march into the city, and that is going to create an inconvenience for the Russians because now they can only get 2 units as replacements. Okay, here we've got 3 and 3. That's a 6, so that's 28. This guy's in a swamp, though, so it's going to be, is that 14 to 7, 2 to 1 odds with a 3. A defender back 2, 1, 2, and I will move into place here. And then over here, we've got this guy pretty much surrounded, so we've got 15, 27, 29, 41 to 14, so 41 to 14, 14 times 2 is 28. 41, oh, we're short just one unit, so it's 2 to 1 odds with a 5, and we get an exchange. Okay, so we're taking out 5, 10. I'll just take 5 from here and 5 from here. Eliminate, and that's it. Okay, so not a good turn for the Russians, but they get replacements, and they get. We'll double check ourselves here, but I think it's 4 per. Yeah, 4 per. That Got to find some 4s. And I can bring them in on any of the 3 cities except Leningrad has been taken, so I can bring them in on either Stalingrad or Moscow. Well, Moscow I think is... I'm going to have at least 1 turn. I think Moscow could be... Yeah, Moscow could be threatened a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and put the 2 there. Okay, Soviets, time to back up. These guys will back up to Kursk and Kharkov. I'm sure I can make it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 10, yeah. And then these guys, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to cross the bug here. And we will continue moving backwards. Here, I'll keep this. He could be surrounded pretty easily. Well, in order to be surrounded, he's going to have to, the Germans are going to have, and the Finns are going to have to move around, so it's going to cost him a few turns. Okay, that is the Soviets' turn, and we can go to turn. Okay, it's October, so we roll our first weather roll. Now, on a 1 to 4, it's going to be clear, and on a 5 or 6, it's going to be mud, and I get a 3, so it's clear weather. And the Germans get their guy. Here's one. Okay. Wish there was a train that went from here to here, but there's not. Okay, what are we going to do? We've got Leningrad, and I'm going to garrison that with some Finns. I don't think I need to garrison it real heavily. Smolensk might be the key. Problem being is it's going to be winter here pretty quick. So try to push these guys back. I think I'll do that. I think... Well... One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that works. And then 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to stay put there. And then these 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's 16. So that's there. Move this guy up to Riga. This guy to Vilnius. This guy to Minsk. And I think we'll have another guy up here to Minsk. So try to keep Warsaw at least defended and keep these guys in reserve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and him here, him here, him here, and then here. Okay, gonna still, like I say, I'm gonna try to roll up the line here. I think I'll leave this 3 here. I don't think 6 to 5. That's 1-to-1 odds. Well, I need to keep it at least. We're gonna move the 2 and the 3. We're gonna move those back and forth. So I've got 9 points there. That's gonna be 18 points they have to come up with, which they're gonna have a hard time getting for a little while. Okay, Battle of Smolensk. I've got 22 and 24 is 46, or it's going to be 23 and 7 is 14 and 6 is 20. So 1-to-1 odds with a 3. 1-to-1 with a 3 is a defender back 2, and since these guys are surrounded, they are eliminated. Okay, and he can move into town. Over here, I've got 11. Wait, is that 11? Yeah, 11. And 12 is 23. And 12 is 35. I need one more, so I'm going to have this 4, 9, so that's 4-to-1 odds. And we're going to roll that with a 4. 4-to-1 with a 4 is a D2, so he can... Oh, he's surrounded, so he's out of there. Well, I'm glad I did that, because I had to send that one guy in. Okay, now I'm going to be fighting a little bit lower odds here, so I've got 4, and that's 12, 17... 29 to 19, 1-to-1 odds with a 1. Oof. So one guy here is eliminated, and then this stack is eliminated, and then this stack is eliminated. Okay. And that is the German turn. Russians get to go, and they get some replacements. I'll take one of those, and let me give me another here. And this time I'm going to move, I'm going to put one here and then one up on Stalingrad. So yeah, the Germans really, their basic way to win this is going to be to surround Moscow and surround Stalingrad for 2 turns, which can kind of get hard. So okay, Russians, now he can't move, but you know, he can maybe do a little damage there. This guy's going to move here, and one, two, three, 4. And I think that's going to be only one combat here. There's not a lot of combat in this game. 13 to 4, so 3-to-1 odds. With a 5. Exchange, okay. So we lose 4 here, and he loses 4 here, which we'll get back. And he won the exchange, but I'm not going to move forward. Definitely not. Don't want to lock myself into combat. Okay, end of turn. And we go to turn, to the November turn. Now it's going to be 1 to 3 clear, 4 to 6 snow. I got clear weather. Oh, there we have it. That's going to help the Germans a little bit. It's time to march on Moscow. We are going to go here, and then 1, 2, here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can do the same thing here. We can go up 1, 2, 3, 4. We still can do 10 because it's not winter yet. 3. This guy's going to move. We can go here and then 6. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We're going to try this. We're going to try to surround Moscow, and then we're going to move this guy into place here. I could, if I've got 2, 5 to 7, that's not good enough odds to really, I was going to try to stop him for a turn, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. he can go around. He can go around, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and here, and then this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. He's in kind of a defensive position there, so sometimes I miss those river hexes. Oh, I forgot my replacement. I got to get that guy back. Okay. And oh, that means I'm going to move my Smolensk up. This guy's going to move up here. I think I'll move this guy here. Yeah, I'll keep that here. He's in a pretty good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4. He can move there. That's a pretty good place. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, the Germans are doing pretty well in this one. If they can, like I say, if they can take the Russians pretty quickly, the game's over fast. Otherwise, the Russians will build up and knock them back. And I don't know, is this the best Eastern Front game I've played? The simple one? I don't think so. I think that is it Battle for Moscow, that real easy one that came out early on. It was a kind of a freebie game. I think it's probably a better, super easy game. Also, the child of this game, which was the Russian campaign, I think is a little bit better. This one's not really historical, but it's kind of fun. This CRT definitely makes it interesting. Okay, back at my nattering here. 24 and 8, 32 and 14 is 44. We'll make that 22 to 18, so 1-to-1 odds. 6. 1-to-1 with a 6 is an attacker eliminated. Okay. This, like I said, yeah, that's what makes it fun. And that was probably the crucial role in the game. I mean, I think at this point, the winner's going to hit, and the Germans are going to slog down, and then the Russians are going to build up. But we'll play it out. At least I will play this out until it's just down to a few units, and then I'll probably stop. But 4, 8, 12, and 22, so 11. Okay, to 19. So 1-to-2 odds with a 3. 1-to-2 with a 3 is an attacker back 2. I can move. You know, the fun thing about this is the attacker can move these guys pretty much anywhere. Okay, let's see what happens here. Got a 6 and a 12. That's 18. 24. 39 to 13. So 3-to-1 odds with a 5 is an exchange. So they lose 9 points. And the Germans lose 9 points. Get rid of these guys. Okay, and that ends the German turn. The Russians get to go, and they get their 2 replacement units, which the hardest part about this is going to be deciding where to send them. I think I'll send 1 to Stalingrad, and I'll send 1 here. I'll send it to Moscow, and then we'll just make it 1, 2, and yeah. Actually, let's put it here. This is actually a better place. Looking why is that they're going to have to attack from here. Otherwise, they're going to be attacking from a river hex. So, now, where am I going to fight these guys? He's kind of out in the open here. 2, 4, 6, and 10. So is this guy, though. It might be better to try to weaken him, although that leaves the city open. Okay. Let's do this. Let's move these guys down here. Move him here. And then him here. Okay, then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I could do, well, how can I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then here. I could do it that way. And then we're going to move this guy to Kharkov. I think I'll keep a guy right here. That's a pretty good defensive position. Over here, not much going on. I suppose I could go down and try to get Leningrad, but I think if I'm patient, I can just let the Germans burn themselves out. Okay, we've got 18, 32 to 11. One short, so 2 to 1 with a 2 is an exchange. Okay, 6 and 5. They have 11. There's a 6 and there's a 5. And then these guys are eliminated. And yeah, I'll come right there. Okay. That's the end of the Russian turn. So we can go to turn December now. It is snow. So, and the Russians now get 6 replacements per turn per city that they've got. So they'll get 12. And the all Swampex is north of the Dvina River. These are all frozen over, so they're clear terrain. Lake Lagoda's clear terrain. Probably won't make a bit of difference here. And then movement is going to be halved. So like these 4s are going to move at 2, and on rail they're down to 5 from 10. So okay, the Germans are going to get their guy. Maybe if they got a guy. They got lots of guys now. And we've got to figure out what to do here. This guy's out in the open. I like that. So maybe we can make it. We can go 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can move in here, and then 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's not a good place to be. Okay. We'll move up. Now this guy could be cut off pretty easily, so I don't think I'm going to go 1, 2, and then 1, 2. I could still go 5. But I'm not going to. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll come up on Moscow here, and then 1. This is our 7 there, so okay. Got 1 battle, and that's going to be a 12. I shouldn't have done that. It's 1 to 2 odds with a 1 is a D2. Okay. Not bad. Should have surrounded him, but it'd been hard. Done been hard. Okay, that's the end of the German turn. Russian turn. They get 2, let me see, 2 6s. Okay. Don't know if I've got 6 units, but let's see here. There's a 6, okay. I got these guys. So I'm going to move these 2 and this guy. Stick him in Moscow. I'm just going to say they're in Moscow for now. We'll move them here in just a second. Okay. Then we're going to go... Okay, over here, I think I'll move into Kursk. Oops. And that guy will go back here. And then I'm kind of surrounded here. We'll pull back to Stelano, and we'll pull back here. That'll at least keep things open. I don't think the rules, I'm not sure if the rules say that if you're surrounded, if you can have a friendly unit that's like in the zones of control, basically that, you know, kind of operates as a corridor, whether that can work to keep units in supply or not. I don't remember how it addresses those, but I think that's all I'm going to do as the Russians. So we're going to move to January of 42. It's a snow turn. The Germans have 2 choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to move in here and here. And then here, here, here. We'll move another guy up here. Actually, that's not a wise thing. This guy's in some danger, so I'm going to move him. This guy's a lot more... Okay, he's more vulnerable here at Kharkov. So we'll take out Kharkov. And then we're going to move up here. There. Move this guy a little closer, and this guy here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's to Smolensk. Always gotta remember my eliminated German unit down here. Move him to Vilnius. That's always 7. That's easy. I always remember that one. Okay, everybody. So I got 2 battles. I've got over here, I've got 3, 6, 9, and 18 to 9. So 2-to-1 odds with a 5 is an exchange. Okay, so I lose 6, and then these guys are going to lose 6. And I don't really need to move into this hex, I guess, because this isn't going to make a big difference. Over here, I've got a 12, 24, 36, 18 to 6. So 3-to-1 odds with a 5. Another exchange. Okay, so I lost a 4. And I'll drop a 4 here. And I will move in. Okay. And that ends the German turn. Russians get 3 more 6s. So we'll bring in those guys. May not have any 6s. Let's see. Hey, I got a 4 and 2. That'll work. Pretty soon I'll be drawing these 5s. Oh, that's 7. Got to wait for him to come out. Oh, there's one. Okay, that's like finding a peanut under the seat of your couch. You guys are like, that's really gross. Okay. Pulling back, I'm going to put some in Stalingrad. And we're just going to move them out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this other guy, I'm going to move him outside of Moscow there. This guy's going to move back to Rostov. Oops, no, that's the guy who came from Stalingrad. I think I'll stay here. That's a good defensive position. Everybody else is defending. I think that's going to end the Russian turn. And I'm going to go get me another cup of coffee. Okay, I'm back with turn. It's going to be the 1942 January turn. And I already placed my little German guy down here. So now I can move. Oh, and this guy I should move him back. He was supposed to be there. The thing to do here is maybe try to surround people. I'm thinking that's what we need to do. So I can go 1, 2, and 3 because that counts as 1. Nope. Yeah, that would be my train, and then there. And here. We'll move here. And back here. Okay. This guy. There's my 7. Can't really move much against Moscow, but I have moved against the Russians there, and he is now officially cut off, so I might be able to start him out. Okay, now the Russians go, and again, just as a reminder, they get 6-12 units because they have Stalingrad and Moscow, so 12 units that they can get from the eliminated bin, or 12 strength points, I guess. Let's see, I think all we're going to be able to do is use 2 5s. Wait, we can use a 5. I think I can use a 5 and a 7. I think I can do that. Again, correct me if I'm wrong down there. And we're going to put the 5 here and the 7. Now I'm going to have to try to relieve... what is that? Kursk. Do I want to do it in one turn or not? It's still winter rules. Let's go here and here. And then I'm going to pull over here and here. And we'll pull back to Rostov there. Okay. And that would be the end of turn. I think, like I said, I think I'm going to hold off on attacking there for the turn. So, okay. And that is the end of turn. So we go into February, and it's still a snow turn. So now the Germans can be a little more concerned. So we're going to go 1, 2. Oh, we got to pull a unit. And I got a 4. I think these guys should have gone 1 more, but that's okay. And this time I think we're going to go here and here. And we'll pop down here. He's got to go to... He can go here because he has a 6. That's 3 and 5 is 8, not 7. So One, two, three, and then 1, 2. He can move in there. I was thinking about trying to attack here. That's a lot. I don't think so. Okay. Got a situation here where I really need to move. I really need to wait until I get a little more. He's got 2 turns where I've got to break through, so I'm going to try to attack. There's 1, 2, and then I can't go there. And we're going to go here, and 2, and here, 1, 2. Okay, we've got 3 attacks going on. So the first here is 4, 8, 12 to 7. 1-to-1 odds with a 1. 1-to-1 with a 1 is a defender eliminated. So we got rid of him. And then up here, going to have 16, 22, 34, and 46. So that's 23 to 10 and 17 and 6. So it's going to be 1-to-1 odds. And I got a 1. Wow. Okay. Well, that helped the Germans out. And yeah, we'll move into Kursk. Okay. And then over here, I've got a 12. And 6 is 18. So that's 9 to 19. 9 to 19. So 1-to-2 odds with a 1. 1-to-2 with a 1 is D2. So that hurt. That hurt the Soviets quite a bit. Okay. And that's it. Okay, now the Soviets can go. And they're going to get 12. So we can get 2 5s. At this point, I think we're going to have a 5 here and a 5 at Stalingrad. So, and we're going to move him down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and him here. At this point, I can move 1 and then 5. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. 1, 2. Can't do much there. I think I'm going to pull back here because those guys could glom around. And that's going to be it. Okay. So then the Russians are going to go with an 11, 19, and 6 is 25, 34 to 9, 3-to-1 odds with a 2 is an exchange. Okay, so they lose 9. And the Russians lose 9. We'll just take 1 from here and 1 from here. Okay. And that ends the turn. Like I say, these turns go fast. Okay, now it's March. We roll a 4, and a 4 is a snow month, so we're still another snow month. Germans got to decide, are they going to take Stalingrad or are they going to take Moscow? I think we will try to take Stalingrad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And oh, I forgot my guy back here. Let me move these guys first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we'll stay at Kursk. Actually, I think I'll move this guy to Kharkov. This guy will move to Minsk. These two guys will be at here. And I did get one replacement here. We'll put him here. Now he can only move 7, so he'll move at Vilnius. Okay, then the Russians go, and definitely want to set up a perimeter at Stalingrad. So Russians will be, I think, any 2 more turns. Then 2 more turns, the Russians will get 8 per city. So 2 units, we'll put them both here. And move him, we'll move him here and here. And then these guys will come out to play. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll move into Moscow. There's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. And then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. There we go. I do want to keep these guys for defending. Now, I think there was, I don't know if the Warsaw Rule applies, but keep the Ruskies from taking Warsaw there. Okay, over here, I've got 6 and 6, 2, and let's see, that's 6, 10, 15 to 6, so 2 to 1 odds with the 6. 2 to 1 with the 6 is an AE, so eliminate and eliminate. Okay. Go to our turn track, and we're now on April. And we roll for a 4, so it's clear terrain, so things are going to go a little faster here. Germans start bringing back an eliminated unit. In Warsaw. And we need to really keep Stalingrad for 2 turns. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll pop off here. And then this guy's going to go 1, 2, and come here. They can go there 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's your 10, and 2, 3, 4. And here. And then this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to bring these guys in. Bringing him up from Smolensk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3 will stay right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I guess this could go either way. I thought the Germans were pretty much wiped out, but I think they might be able to hold off. I still got 1 hex here I need to hold. So that leaves it to the Russians. And they can get up here, and then they could go 1, 2, 3. No, they could go here. Okay. Nope, the Russians need their units coming in. 5. And I think we could go... There's, wait, 12 units. I could bring in 12. 6, 4. Any more 4s? There we go. Gonna bring them in here. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna bring these 2 guys out here. And and then I'm going to wheel up here. I think I'll hold back here. Okay. So I've got a battle here, and it's going to be for 6 and 7 is 13 to 12. 1-to-1 odds with a 4. 1-to-1 with a 4 is an attacker back 2. And that ends the turn. Okay, now we can bring in these Italian guys. The Italians and the Hungarians. So, and they can come in anywhere. Now, the other thing, though, is that the Russians now get, let's see, 8 units per town. So they'll get 16 units coming in. And let's get our German eliminated guy here. Now, the rules say you can bring him in anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, and that guy has to come in Warsaw. I'm going to come in Bucharest. Yeah, I can bring him anywhere. Warsaw's actually going to be faster. So we'll bring everybody into Warsaw. German turn. The trick is going to be now to surround these guys. I'm going to move here, and here, and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I know you guys that play this that are good at this are all saying, you know, you could be encircling them and doing the supply stuff. I'm not that good at this. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's these guys, this guy, and then these 4s can go 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And let's see, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So now they're surrounded. So let's see how I can do over here. I've got a 2, 4, 6 and an 8. 14 to 12 with the 3. So that's 1-to-1 with the 3 is a defender 2. So, and that eliminates him. Okay. Now the Russians bring in their units. Now at this time I can bring in 16 units. And I'm going to bring in all 3 on Stalingrad. Now I have to move them out, but that's okay. And we're going to move here and here. And then here, here, and here. Now over here in Moscow, not much, staying put. And so we can resolve our combat. And I've got a 13 and 15 is going to be at 28 to 12. So 2-to-1 odds with a 6. Is an attacker eliminated? Okay, ouch. Here we go with a 11, 21, 30 to 12, 2-to-1 odds with a 2. An exchange. So both sides have to lose 12. That's going to hurt the Russians here. So they're going to have to lose a 5, and a 4. But they moved the Germans out, so now they can breathe again. We go to the turn marker here, and we go to June of 42, sorry. Germans get a unit. And they get to go. I didn't need to need at least 30 down here. So, going to move out here, and then out here. Come here and then go 1, 2. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, I know he can move into place. We're going to move inwards here, here, and here. And then these guys can move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go there. And then move him to Kharkov. Him to Kharkov. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I can set up a block there. That guy can move up. And then this guy, there's 7, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's moved into place. Combats. Here I've got 12 to 9, 1-to-1 odds with a 3. Is a defender back 2. Here we've got a 12, 24 to 6. That's 4-to-1 with a 3. is a defender. Back 2. Okay. He can't go anywhere, so he's eliminated. I will move into that position. Still got one little route here that they can get out of Stalingrad. Okay, Russians get double check, but we get 8, 16, 2, 3, and 4. And I think I'll move 2 here. And we probably ought to get Moscow. We ought to probably beef up Moscow a little bit. Okay. And now we can move. Gotta move here, here, and then here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Oh, there's that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I could still go 6. 1, 2. I can't use the railroad, but 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Him here. And him here. Okay, let's see how we do. Got a 6 and 8 is going to be a 14 to 6, 2 to 1 odds with the 2. An exchange. So Germans lose 6. Russians lose 6. Okay, up here we've got a 6, 10, 15, 19 to 12, 1 to 1 with the 6. That's a attacker eliminated. Yeah. Eliminate, and that is going to be it for the turn. We set the turn marker to July. German replacements, not Russian replacements. German replacements here. Do I have a 4? There's a 4. Give me a 4. Come on. There we go. Put that in Warsaw. Okay, moving in. Gonna stay put here. And then this guy's gonna move out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's here, here, here. And then 1. We'll go to that juncture there. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can move into place here. I'm going to go 4, 5, 6. I can go along the railroad here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Move to Kursk here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then here we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. Or, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There, we can go a little further than that. Okay. So they're now surrounded. And we've got one battle here, which is a 6, and 16, 17, 18. to 12. 1 to 1 with a 6 is an attacker eliminated. Okay. It's now time for the Russians to go. Now, the issue I see here is if you drop these replacements in, you'd have to move out of town. I guess they can. I guess we could. So that's gonna be 16 units. 5, 10, 15. Okay. We will go. Problem is I got Moscow down here that's hanging on by a thread, and I've got these guys here. 2, 3. Not much else I can do. Okay, so we've got 15, and 8 is 23 to 12, so 1 to 1 odds with the 2, and it's an exchange. So I move 12 here, and I've got to remove 12 here, so I'm going to have to take out 5. Eliminate those guys. Okay. And that's the end of the turn. We move to August. Again, I'm able to breathe here again. At least for the time being. So we'll go with the German. I need a 4. Yeah, I don't know. There's no rule, I think, that addresses if these guys are cut off from supply, if they can get reinforcements. I don't remember that rule. Maybe there is, which would have changed things a little bit here, but that's okay. Okay, Germans are going to move into place here. They're cut off there, cut off there, cut off there. Here. And here, and then this guy's going to go up here. I'll stay at Minsk. Over here, I really don't want to attack, but we're going to go here and here and here. Here, here, and here. Okay, and I'm going to attack here, and then I'm going to soak off here with a 2 to start. First of all, start with a 2 to I can't 1 to 6. I can't do it. These guys have 6, 12, 18, but that's doubled. Okay, so 18. I think I'm going to have to use that whole stack. Am I? Move this guy into place here. We're going for broke. 18. Let's see. No, that's going to be, yeah, 6, 12, 18 is times 2, 38. 38. So now I need a sixth of 1, sixth of 38. That's 7. Okay, so I'm going to do with the 4 and the 3. That's 1 to 6 odds, and that's going to automatically be a 4 as attacker eliminated, which I kind of suspected. So we'll move these guys out. I think I'm getting this right. I may be off by a little bit. So we'll eliminate them. But now I can attack all of these guys with, I can add that 2. It's not much, but it's a little bit. 4, 8. 20, 27, 29 to 14. Yeah, that's enough. That'll help. That takes it to 2-to-1 odds with the 2. 2-to-1 with the 2 is an exchange. Okay, so I lose 10, but these guys lose 10. So we'll take out the 2, and then a 1 and a 1. Eliminate and eliminate. Okay. But it left it open, so I've got another open. I shouldn't have moved that guy down there. That's okay. Well, I wouldn't have got the odds if I hadn't had, so. Okay, and then the Germans are staying put here. And now Moscow's cut off, so this will be the first turn that Moscow's cut off. No, it's 2 complete turns, so did I have it? I think they were cut off previous turn. So this is beginning of turn 1. Okay. Now the Russians get their replacements. I need more 3. I need one more 4. Or 2 2s. I'll try 2 and either a 4 or 2. There's another 4. Yeah, we'll use these 2 2s. Okay. I'm going to put these 2 2s here and move them up. And then these 4s, I'm going to go to Moscow and try to... We're going to have to try to break free here. So we'll move those guys here. And then this guy here. And we'll just stay put. So the only battle is going to be this 12 to 9. 1-to-1. With a 1 is a defender eliminated. So this is going to be almost just a battle of attrition down to nothing. Okay. And that is the end of turn. So now... Moscow is back into supply. Okay, go to our turn marker. It's September. We get a German guy down here. I think I can try to take those guys here and here. That cuts off Stalingrad again. Here I will do a here and here. Okay, Moscow's cut off again. So let's try this here. I got an 8, a 10 to 6. 1-to-1 with a 6 is a elimination and elimination. Oh, I forgot this guy here. We'll move it out of, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll move into here. Okay. Those guys moved. There we go. We were a little out of turn, but that's okay. 8 and 12. 18 to 18. 1-to-1 with a 3 is a defender back 2. 1, 2. He can't go anywhere, so he is eliminated. Okay. At this point, the Russians get their replacements, and they get their 16. There's a 4. There's a second 4. There's a third 4. There's a fourth 4. All right. I can get the maximum 16 out of that. Going to make our 2. Keep the other 2 here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move him here and here. And then this guy is going to come down here. Can't surround him, I don't think. Yeah. And then here, I'll move these two over here. Okay. So we'll start here with a 8 and 4 is 12 to 7. 1 to 1 with a 5 is the attacker is eliminated. See, this is crazy. This is just... And over here we have a 8, 12 to 2, 6 to 1. So 6 to 1 with a 6 is a defender eliminated. And then down here, 8 to 7, 1 to 1 with the 6, defender eliminated. And that ends the turn. We go to October, and we get a 4, so it's clear. Germans get to go. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, since they left Stalingrad, I'm just going to move right into town. Here, I'm going to end it. I think we're going to end the thing with Moscow, so we can... If I can move into Moscow, I'll have the game. This guy can move up here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, it's coming down almost to a single roll here. They have a 7 to 12. 1 to 2 odds with a 5. Is an attacker eliminated? Okay. And the Russians will move in. Over here, we have a 8 and 7. So 15, 23, 31, and 41 to 12. Actually, that's going to be 41 to 12 is a going to actually be 20 to 12. So 1 to 1 odds with a 3 is a defender back 2. So that eliminates Moscow. And the Germans roll in. Okay. The Russians now are down to having 6 units that they can bring in. And that's going to be just a 5. And they are going to 1, 2, wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. End of turn. We go to November turn, and we get a 5. So it's a snow turn. 5 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. And, oh, we forgot my German. Well, there's a 2. There's a 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he can go here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all the further he can go. And then we're going to stay here. Actually, I'm going to keep a guy here in Moscow. Okay, that's the end of the German turn. Russians get 8. They can get... And... we're going to move 2 out. I don't know if this guy's going to be able to do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll come back and defend Stalingrad. And that's the end of turn. So we go to turn, this turn, and it's a snow turn. Germans get their 1, if they can find one. There we go. And then the 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. We'll go back 1. And then here, and then this guy can go 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. He'll go into the stack. Okay, Russians get another one. They get 6. And we'll move him here, and move this guy up here. And we go to the next turn. Another snow turn. He can move 2 outside of the 2. And 1, 2. Okay. So I've got, here I've got 4 to 21. 1 to 6, and I get a 4. 1 to 6 with a 4 is going to be an AE, so that guy's gone. And then here I have 1, 2, 3, that's 12, 18, 21, 25 to 15. So 1 to 1 odds with a 6 is a attacker eliminated. Okay. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for the game. At this point, wow, it's just like almost over, but everything. Well, let's play it till the end here. Let's see here. Eliminated. The Russians will get another 5. Like I said, I think the ending for this game isn't too hot. This is just kind of a boring battle with just a few units. I guess sometimes this can be fun with the right people. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I guess I could try to take Moscow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Now I can move. Now we can go to our next turn. Snow turn. And we're going another German unit in. Here we go. Okay, let's start down here. Let's move towards Moscow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. think we're still on a snow turn. Yep. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Russians get 1 unit. And we're going to go here and here. And then one of these guys is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okie doke. That's the end of the turn. We go to here. We're on a march turn. And we get a 4. So that's going to be a snow turn. Another snow turn. Bring in a German unit. Okay. Basically, they're just chasing these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I really don't have enough units to take them out. What I'm going to do is I can go 1, 2. Yeah, those guys can't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I get one relief guy here. Okay. Go to the next turn. This is the April turn. 4. We're clear. Germans get 1. There's a 4. Forgot to move last turn. That's okay. It's not going to make any difference. Come here. 2, 3, 4, 5. This was a clear turn, wasn't it? Yeah, this was a clear turn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to pop one guy out here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is going to be it for the Germans. The Russians get a replacement. If I can pull another 4, they can use 8, so they can bring those 2 guys in. So we're going to do that. 10, 12, 20. That's 1-to-1 odds. Not that great. We're going to go, we can't pop into here. I'm going to pop over here and here, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we can pop here. And this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those 2 here. And we can have a combat here. 5, 10, 15, 30, 38, 40. So 20 to 8, 2-to-1 odds with a 1. Defender eliminated. Okay, and they retake Moscow. So I think, boy, it came down to the wire there. It could have gone either way, but I think I'll end it there. I've got one more turn. The Germans could move up, but there's really no reason to. And then the Russians could try to pop down on those. You know, we didn't have this for two. I thought we had Stalingrad for 2 turns, but I don't think the Germans had it for 2 turns. So they would have won if they would have kept that for an extra turn. I'd forgotten about that, but they did keep Moscow. So pretty much, I think it was almost, I would almost call this a toss-up. But I guess technically the Russians would have it because the Germans were unable to eliminate them or keep both cities for 2 turns. I'd have to go back and watch it again. If I kept Stalingrad for 2 turns, because I did have Moscow for 2 turns, kept Leningrad. But anyway, that's what I've got. Pretty simple game. Probably not my favorite. I can understand why people like it. For a long time, this was one of the games to play back there in the early mid-60s. But a lot of other stuff quickly came out that that kind of replaced it. And I'll be playing the Russian campaign next week. I'm into it a little bit more, so I'll probably play it a little bit better than this. But anyway, that's what I've got. I hope you did enjoy it. Like I say, I enjoyed myself. We will see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.